But Europe was still seething with anti-Semitism. The DPs were in bad case in Europe, in Germany. Obviously, the Germans are still the Germans. But I don't know if you know this or not. I mean, some know this. In 1945 and 1946, there still were pogroms in Poland, in which hundreds of Jews were killed. And the situation, therefore, for Jews, and particularly in terms of Yiddishkeit, was worse than chaotic. And so Rabbi Silver, he says, I want to go see myself. On the other hand, he knows how dangerous it is to go look that way in Europe. So he was very good friends with the most powerful Republican senator at that time in Congress, Senator Robert Taft, son of President William Howard Taft. Robert Taft, if you know American history, literally was called Mr. Republican. That was his famous nickname. And the Republicans in 1946 were very powerful. They were about to win their crushing victory, one of the great Republican congressional victories of all time in 1946 elections, after which he passed what they call the Taft-Hartley bill, as you know. Rabbi Eliezer Silver became the rabbi in Cincinnati of the Orthodox community, meaning a bunch of shuls in 1931. Long ago, Cincinnati is the headquarters of Reform. That's where Hebrew Union College is located. In the 1920s and 30s, that was the super years of the power of the Reform Jewish movement, particularly in Cincinnati. The first thing he said when he became the rabbi of the town is, what's doing with the kashrus and what's doing with the mikvah? And the mikvah was in disarray. And he said, we're going to build a new mikvah, and we're going to do it in Stevenson, in Lutherville. There was Avondale, they call it over there. And the mayor of Cincinnati at that time, Murray Seasongood, was the mayor of the city. He was also president of the board of directors of the Hebrew Union College and the Temple. He was a leading Reform Jew. And he said, a mikvah? That barbarically, no way. They blocked it in the zoning commission. You understand? Well, they messed with the wrong guy. So he went to the number one white shoe wasp law firm in Cincinnati, which was Robert Taft. Ultra Republican, but, you know, Republicans all, Taft was a civil libertarian. He didn't believe in power for the labor union, but he was a civil libertarian. And he said like this, I'm going to sue, because this is freedom of religion, you know. And Taft took it. And you have to understand, the Reformed Jewish movement at that time was really always bending over backwards to show how American they were. As soon as they hit the front page of the Cincinnati newspapers, that Robert Taft, the famous attorney, son of the President of the United States, is going to be the attorney in the upcoming case of suing the city, they folded. The city changed his mind. The zoning board had another meeting and they let it go through because they couldn't stand, you know, the idea over here. And after it was over, and he won, so he sent him his fee. Send the lawyer the fee, and he tore it up and sent it back in an envelope. He did it pro bono. So that turned out to be a very smart thing to do, because 7 years later he ran for Senate, and one of his big backers was Silver. So he had a powerful guy in Washington, and when the war was over, he went to Taft's office and he said, I want to go over to Europe, but if I go dressed like a rabbi, you're in Poland, a place like that, who knows what will happen, so I want to be a brigadier general in the American Army. You know? And Taft said, that's a tall order. He says, you just do it. And he did. He called Secretary of War at that time, Patterson, and he said, don't ask me no questions, just do this, you know, and give this guy the uniform and the commission, temporary commission of brigadier general, and he went over, you know, dressed with his beard, as you see over here or not, and he spent weeks and weeks and weeks in the DP camps in Germany, and then he went east into Poland and Czechoslovakia, because there were 1.5 tons of kidnapped children, or Jewish children, that have been, as I'm sure you know, located in monasteries and places like that, and they're trying to get them out. There was a lot to do. There was a lot to do. And the story ends up, and when he goes into Poland, there's no American army over there, there's Poland, and Poland, the week he ends up there is the week of the great riots and the pogroms at Kielce, where they kill hundreds of Jews. The Poles take baseball bats and hatchets, chop everybody's, split everybody's brains. I repeat, this happened a year after the Holocaust was over. You know, people don't like to talk about this, and there he is, and the story is, very briefly over here, here it goes. Silver next visited the Jewish community of Sosnovitz, and they were kind of proud. 700 Jews resettled there. So, here we go. His visit was cut short when he was called back to Warsaw for a meeting concerning his request for immigration permits. Rabbi Silver reserved a seat in the first-class compartment of a train going from Sosnovitz to Warsaw. On his way there, stopping in the railroad station, he encountered a ranting Polish mob.